Alrighty, so we've got a 15-year mortgage from a credit union. The fixed interest rate is 4.68% annual percentage rate, compounded monthly, by the way. The monthly payment can be at most $1,275. What is the maximum amount you can borrow? So the first thing is to make sure we're using the correct formula. And the correct formula is the amount borrowed equals the monthly payment times some things over some things. Okay, so the amount borrowed, or the amount we can borrow, is the formula we need. Amount borrowed equals the monthly payment 1275 times a bunch of stuff over some things. So we need to get the monthly interest rate first of all. That's R. Monthly interest rate R, and then we need the number of payments T. Okay, so let's first of all get R and T, and then we'll put it in the formula. So monthly interest rate is, we take that annual percentage rate and we divide it by 12. So we take our 4.68%, 4.68% divided by 12. So that's, 0.0468 over 12. It's probably some long decimal, 0.0468. Oh, and it's not. Look at that. It's nice, clean 0.0039. We could probably just use that, 0.039. Yeah, let's just use that for R. We could put the whole thing in as this with the parentheses as well if we wanted to. I mean, so you don't. So, but we can use that. Number of payments T, well, it's 15 years, so it's 15 years times 12 months. 12 months in each year. And you'll find that is 180. Does that make sense? So our R is that number and our T is this number. Are we clear on that? And the formula tells us that we need to go monthly payment times 1 plus R. So, times 1 plus R, which is 1.0039. We can just add it straight on. It's a nice clean decimal. That's nice. 1 plus R to the power of T. So to the power of 180. Then subtract 1. So we got to go this, the power of 180, then subtract 1, and then multiply it by that. Divided by R, which is 0.0039, times 1 plus R to the power of T. So, times 1.0039 to the power of 180, right? So now the next question is, how do we stick this into a calculator or into a computer, a spreadsheet or something, to get the right answer? So let me just walk through that, and we got to think about the order of operations PEMDAS, all right? So the top, a lot of times you might want to just do the top, then do the bottom, then divide. You can totally do that. So the top would be 1275 times, I'm doing a star for like a times, right? And then we've got to go this to the power of 180, subtract 1, then multiply it by this. So in that regard, let's put that in parentheses and go 1.0039 to the power of 180, subtract 1. So the calculator or your computer, your spreadsheet, understands PEMDAS, the order of operations. It's going to do parentheses first, okay? And inside that parentheses, there's an exponent and a subtraction. It'll definitely do that exponent first, and then it will subtract, okay? So that will do for the top. And you guys can calculate that and then calculate the bottom and then divide. Or you can do it all as one line. I mean, so, there's the top anyway. Then you could hit divide if you want and then do the bottom and do it all in one go if you want. But in any case, that's the top. The bottom would be 0.0039 and it's times that. So you can actually put in, times 1.0039 to the power of 180, right? And again, your calculator understands PEMDAS. It's going to do the exponents here and then multiply. So if you think about PEMDAS, it'll do exponents, then it's going to multiply. So I'm going to do the top, then the bottom, then I'll divide, just so we do it that way. It's kind of straightforward. 1275 times parenthesis. In fact, you don't need a lot of calculators. You can just do parenthesis because your calculator is going to recognize that parenthesis as multiply. To the power. Power is that little hat guy there. 180. Subtract 1. So the top you should get 1294.16 something. So 1294.1647 blah blah blah. The bottom 0.0039 times 1.0039 to the power of 180. So 0.0078, etc. Let's see. 0.7858 621, etc. Right? So I've done the top, I've done the bottom, and then we can just divide these numbers if you want. This divided by this. So on my calculator, I'm just going to use these arrows here. I'm going to select that number here, press enter, and it brings it up without me having to type it out. Then I'm going to hit divide. I'm going to go up with the arrows, select this number. So it's that divided by that, press enter. That way I'm not worried about rounding, because the calculator has carried down a whole ton of decimal places already. And this gives me a nice answer here. And it should be 164,680 and so on. Let's see. So 164,680.89, etc. And we're probably asked to round to the nearest dollar at least, or even the nearest $1,000. Okay, so it asks us to round to the nearest $1,000. So that is, all right, so we got, 100, what's that, 165,000, right? Yeah, so 165,000 should be the answer. Oh, let me show that, sorry. So you should get this divided by this, should get this, and then it rounds to about 165,000. Let me just double check that is correct. Yeah, it is. And we could have done it as a one-liner. Like if you want to do this entire calculation at once, you kind of plug this into your calculator, right? And then you go divide, but just make sure you put parentheses around the bottom, because you're telling the calculator, go from left to right, calculate the top, then divide by all of this. But you have to tell the calculator to say, hey, put parentheses around that. Like do all of this, turn it into our 0.007 number, and then divide by this. So, and to be really clear, if you want to, you can put parentheses around the top, which says to your calculator, I want you to get the top and I want you to get the bottom and then divide these numbers, right? So if we really wanted to, we could do it all in one go. So that would be, just for the heck of it, I could go, 1275, times 1.0039 to the power of, let's see, what's that, 180, power of, let's see, what's that, 180 minus 1, close parenthesis, and then parenthesis, that's full parentheses around the top. By the way, enter, that's the correct number. I'm going to take it again. So that's the top, that is correct. Divide that by parentheses around the bottom, 0.0039 times 1.0039, to the power of 180, and then put parentheses around the bottom, and then press enter, and we get our full answer all in one go. So you're welcome to do that too. Probably better to do maybe the top then the bottom, then divide, just to double check your work. And it's kind of, if you try to do a one line entry, it's easier to make a mistake. But it's perfectly fine if you're clear on what you're doing. It's you're calculating the top, you're calculating the bottom, put them in parentheses and divide, right? So in any case, $165,000. So gosh, what can you buy with that? Not much. In this housing market, and it's 2022, maybe their bubble will burst and we'll be able to buy something with that type of money. Anyway, there you go.